Welcome to Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. I had a first impression stream of this just a while after it came out, but yet it has been a bit since then and they have patched almost every day, so I thought maybe it might be time to start a campaign and see how it plays out. So let's start a new campaign here. So my idea for this campaign is going to be something like a cavalry type playthrough of like a Nordic character, a Nordic, possibly woman is what I'm thinking right now. So we're going to go Sturgians. We're going to be cavalry, so my sort of thought is, you know, we came across perhaps on a boat from some faraway land, sort of on our own, vying for fame and fortune and to make our mark on the land, and we're going to come over and we're well versed in the ways of horsemanship, maybe a bit of horse archery, I'm not sure yet. So we're going to go Sturgian here. We get less penalty from snow, that's good. We could also go Kuzate, since they have horse archers and they're horse people, but doesn't quite fit. I mean, the bonus for horsemen would be good, doesn't quite fit where we're going. Let's go Sturgian here. And I do think we're going to go for a woman here.
Attack now! Circle formation! Circle! Victory is ours!
I think that's it. We're going to be a bit taller. We're going to be very white. We are from the far northern places here. Let's just see what we can get here. It's something that doesn't look like, those eyes stare into your soul. Let's go ahead and do something, because they just massive bags under their eyes there. Let's go with something that doesn't look too bad. We're not going to worry too much about most of this. Just a bit of randomization there to sort of bring the character together. That's not too bad. Let's see what else we can sort of get from it. Kind of like this. Maybe a bit here. Yes, I think that would go fine. And then hair, we're going to go something long and flowing, I believe. Sort of how I would imagine, you know, the Viking men would not shave their beards. I think the women would also have some sort of long hair flowing into battle. I think something like this will look well for our lady here. Markings are interesting. I can only change one set of colors. They look a bit off. Don't really like the milky eye. The scar across the nose there, that might work alright. A lot of these are very intense. You can't really change like how horrid the scar looks. I'm not really gonna go for makeup. I think we'll go for no markings on our lady horse cavalry leader, cavalry knight here. Our family, well, nothing's really going to fit exactly with what we're thinking. So it's sort of just gonna have to play around with it. Roguery and throwing, we're not really going to be using throwing. This does give us some archery and some scouting, but we're not too big into that. If we get something with some horsemanship and archery, I think that's sort of a bit more where we're going here. This gets us pretty close. We might do some two-handed. That might be a good idea, actually. I do a lot of one-handed in shield, but maybe something two-handed on horseback and come through, swipe through, and then switch to a bow and arrow if we need to. Or we can do something that can be both one and two-handed. I don't exactly know how that works in this, but we can sort of play around with that. That way we can still have that shield if we need, so we still have like the two-handed, and then we swap out, pull out that shield if we need to charge in. We got a bow to keep some distance. That might be too bad. Let's go with the two-handed. We won't do really any pole arm. I'm thinking, you know, some more skirmishing, less pole arm sort of mastery here. But I think this is good. We're going to go for Boyar's Companions. This gives us riding and two-handed. So my early childhood, this would give us some throwing and two-handed. Not too keen on that. This would give us some tactics and some leadership. Now, leadership and I think mostly stewardship, that sort of determines the large party sizes you can have. I believe stewardship is the one that matters for that one. So we might just need to think about that. We're not really going to do one-handed athletics. We're going to be focusing mostly on mounted. Don't really need trade or engineering. This would give us some charm and some leadership. Not too keen on that right now. I think this one gives us a bit of medicine, but it gives us some riding. That might be pretty good. It sort of fits with our background. We're good with the horses. Gives us some riding, medicine. I think we're going with that. So for our adolescence, what did we do? Well, we didn't really do polearms. We didn't really work the smithy, although smithing might be something we dabble in later. Not really too worried about that. This would give us some two-handed, so something to keep in mind. This gives us smithing and engineering. We're not going to be too much into engineering. We want to prove our metal. We want to prove our stature in combat. Hunting would give us just that bit of skill in bow. That might be good to round out sort of what we're doing. Let's go with hunting, I think. Just give us that bit of skill in bow, that one pip in bow. That will give us just a bit there. So for our youth, what did we do? Well, we could get some polearms. I'm not really looking forward to that, but this would give us some riding. Riding is good. We could stand guard with the garrisons. That gives us some bow and some engineering. I'm not looking too much into engineering right now. This one might be good too. Scouts, so that gives us both horse and archery, which is pretty decent. Infantry would give us polearms and one-handed. We're not going to do too much with the one-handed, though. That will matter at some point. We're not going to do anything with her. Let's do scouting. Give us a whole bunch more in the horsing and some into the bow. We're going to have to see how that goes. I'm probably not the best at bowmanship in this. We'll just sort of play it out and see how it goes. So our young adulthood here, just looking at what we got. We're not going to do much like for that. Not really looking for crossbows. This would give us some athletics, which would be decent, and when we go down, if we want to do tournaments, wow, she's holding that arrow really awkwardly there. But we're not too good on roguery. Roguery we'll be able to get up just by selling people anyway. This here, treated people well, does give us some charm and some stewardship. I think this will help. We're a natural leader coming across. Sure, we might be on our own, but growing up, we definitely took charge. We were very forward in what we were doing. Story background with my brother, which we're going to completely ignore the story. But this would give us some bows and some tactics. Tactics is definitely good. This would boost up our horse and endurance even more, give us just a bit in scouting. Scouting will probably come in useful. Tricking the raiders, not really too sure on that. This would give us some leadership and charm. Not looking too much into that. I think what we did was we chased them off on our horse. Gives a bit of scouting, but we're definitely beefing up that riding. I think that will be good for us. So here's pretty much what we got here. Sturgia, Boyar's Companion. Skill with horses, hunted game, rode with the scouts. I treated people well, and I rode off on a horse. So for a name here, thinking and considering through this, not very good with names. I think we'll go with Astrid. It's a nice Nordic name. And I believe Astrid is a decent name. I think we'll go with that. She's looking mighty fine here. We're gonna have a bow and an axe, it looks like, with our horse. That won't be too bad. Alright, so for some of this, we're not gonna do very easy. We're just gonna put it on easy. Tournament difficulty, we'll do realistic. Movement speed bonus. I think we'll go realistic. Enable death. This is only if heroes die on the battlefield. You can still execute nobles without this. We are going to auto-allocate clan member perks. I just don't want to deal with that. Death on the battlefield, though. I think this will change the game in an interesting way, so I think we're definitely going with this. The reason why I'm going by 2/3 here is that on realistic, it just feels a bit cheesy. Somewhat. It's sure it might be more realistic. Like even the simplest of looters can get an axe in your skull and you die immediately. But I think especially with death, a bit too painful. If we do die, I guess that's just going to be it. That's just going to be how it is. But we'll stick with 2/3 on all of these just to sort of see how it plays out. We can adjust this later on too. So we're going to go ahead and start game. Dive right on in with Astrid, the Nord cavalry commander. And we're going to just jump all through this. Skip tutorial. If you want to see the tutorial, feel free to check out the stream where I sort of have my first sort of impressions on this game. But we're not going to worry about it right now. So for our family name, I'm thinking Snowdottir, daughter of the snow. I couldn't think of anything better, so we're just going to go with that. And for our banner, now there is this amazing tool out there that you can use that is called the Bannerlord Party Banner Editor, or the Bannerlord Banner Editor. So basically, I found this thing on Reddit, and we can go ahead. I can go ahead and show this here. So we take that code from the Bannerlord Banner Editor that found on Reddit, and anywhere in this page, what you do is you just Control-V paste, which is the paste command on Windows, and it immediately takes that banner that you made. So here normally you can only do like one icon and like 2 sets of colors, and you can't really do much with it. You can change some size, but it's a very basic. So what you can do with the editor is, instead of something super simple like this, you can create something much more interesting to look at. And this is sort of what we came to here. So unfortunately, some of it doesn't work. Like obviously this is messing with something here. But we can go ahead and recopy that code. And it's not pasting in at this moment, probably because I adjusted the settings. Oh, it's all over the place now. We're just going to hit done for now. We can swap this out as soon as we get out. So we're out. I'll go ahead and hit B to edit the banner. We can paste the one that we created, and here it is. Sadly, because of the way the shield is set up, you can't really see the stuff in the center, the horse icon we made here for our character. But it still looks pretty decent. And that really only affects with this certain shield, with this round part, the concave or convex part. It's concave on one side, convex on the other. But I think overall this is a good banner design, and I think we'll be happy with that. So there's our banner. So we do start out all the way down here in the Southern Empire, which is not where we want to be, because we came from the north, and we're going to stay in the north. We're going to go ahead and just start directly moving up towards here so we can start recruiting our troops. So we're just going to move and hope we don't get hit by some bandits along the way, but we should be alright. Bandits and looters shouldn't have taken over everything yet. What we can do, however, is we can open up our inventory here and sort of see where we're at. So all we have is some grain, that's fine. We do have our hunting bow and arrows with our axe, which is just a one-handed axe. We don't really have any armor or anything like that. That's fine. I don't think we necessarily need food. Go ahead and check our character here. We're going to go ahead and take marksmanship, because that's the only one at that level, and we're going to take horse hit points increasing, and those are the only 2 talent points we have at the moment. We don't really need to worry about our focus on any of this right now. Hopefully we'll start getting our 2-handed up here. That will be good, and that's really the majority of what we need to look at. Stewardship will be good just in general to increase our party size. We can only have up to 23 troops right now. We just have us, but I'm not too worried about that. These quests, we're really just going to ignore these. The main story in this game is not completely set up. There's still a bit with it that not entirely thought through yet. A lot of it's still a bit like, you know, wonky. But for now, we're just going to keep moving off to the north so we can start recruiting our troops and start the story of our life, the story of this character's life. You know, she just came over. She wants to prove herself on the battlefield far from home. She really knows the ways of the horse, as opposed to most of other family, which probably knows more of the ways of, you know, the berserking troop, the axe and shield. She's definitely more of the common folk. I have poor relations with these people. I am not entirely sure why. Which means we can't recruit from this town at the moment. Let's see if we can figure another town over here we can recruit from. Not sure why those people didn't like me. Maybe just in general. Okay, these people I have 0 relationship with. 2 relationship with that one. Let's actually take a look at our character screen here. Okay, so we're merciful, we're honest, and we're generous. If they have traits opposing these, they're going to like us quite a bit less, and we don't have anything to make up for that. So we're very limited on what we can get, but we can get 1 recruit now. That's better than nothing. And let's move on to this larger town here. Going to go ahead and see what other troops we can recruit. Just 1, that's fine. We do have some food on us. We have 1 grain. We're probably going to want just a bit more. Let's go ahead and just get a bit of grain there. We got 6 grain now. So right now our goal is mostly just to start getting an army up and start getting trained to where they are actually horsemen. Right now they are just pure infantry, which is unfortunate. So if we look at the troop tree, and an easy way to do that is if you open up your party screen, you can right click on the troop and you open the troop tree for that troop. So we're going to have to go down the woodsman, brigand, and then hardened brigand, and that's when we're going to get our cavalry. And our end troops are going to be the hardened brigands and these horse raiders. This is what our troop's going to be. Smaller, more elite, possibly agile troop. We're not going to go down the standard like Huskarl if you play Warband, or your veteran warriors, your shock troops. I feel like that's played out. I did a lot of that, going down this in Warband, this same sort of troop comp. I'm just looking at some cavalry because I haven't done a lot with cavalry. And sure, it would have been easier to go cavalry, with the Kuzites or down in the desert area. But I figured this would be an interesting enough sort of character archetype, and then possibly when we get our clan rank up there, we're going to join up and be mercenaries here up in the north in Sturgia, possibly join up as a vassal, sort of play that as it goes. But for now we got a couple troops. We could probably take on some looters, but we're going to avoid that just for now. Going to play it a bit safe till I have a bit more troops. Go down over here to Mazhadan. So something Warband had that this game does not. In Warband, starting as a female character, starting as a woman, because they're trying to make it more accurate of the time period of, England, sort of Middle Ages there, women rulers were not really a thing. I mean, they were here and there, but by and large, everything was ran by the male society. That's just how it was. So in Warband, starting as a female character, the lords, they gave you some shit, and it was harder to earn rep. You had to have more rep to actually join and be part of a thing and to be a vassal. You definitely had to have more going on. From my understanding, none of that is in Bannerlord at the moment. So this isn't going to be quite as hard as starting as a female character in Warband, but we're going to just play with it and see where it goes. I just thought it'd be a more interesting start for our lore to do this. And I think it'll be all right. There are some female leaders, however, in Bannerlord. So if we come down and we look over here at the Southern Empire specifically, we go into them by right-clicking on the town name. Southern Empire is led by Rogea. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but that sort of seems right. And she is the wife of the previous empire who died in the lore. So she's definitely in charge. If you look at some other places, like over here, while not led by a woman, one of the clans, the Kurgan clan specifically, is led by a woman. She is the daughter, I think, of a previous Khan who died. The Kurgits are the one, yes. So, Kuzite culture, she is the Kurgit clan, and the Kurgit clan is the one who actually comes through all the way to Warband, because if you think about it, Bannerlord takes place, I think, a couple hundred years before Warband. So it's sort of like her clan eventually becomes the clan, but the backstory is sort of like they fell from grace. So definitely some clan leaders and some nobles that are indeed female. And I thought that, it'd just be a more interesting campaign if we sort of played along with that. So we're just going to sort of see where that goes. Now, if we find any looters now with about 13 troops, we'll go ahead and go after them. 15, we could probably take 15 Sea Raiders. I don't think we can take 4 Sea Raiders. Sort of would scare me. We're going to try to take these 15 looters and sort of see where that goes. Technically, it says the power level is a bit lower than theirs, but I think we'll be able to take them just fine. This will just give us some initial combat experience, just get us on our way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my recruits right where they are. I don't really need that tutorial, but thanks. And I'm going to go ahead and come out here. So another interesting thing is if from a dead stop, if you double tap W and hold it, you'll immediately go at max speed. Double tap S and let go, you'll immediately stop, which is pretty nice. We're going to go ahead and horribly fail at our archery here. They really are hitting me with a lot of rocks, and I don't appreciate it. So we're just sort of playing the distraction game, getting some initial damage on them. Not doing too well here. I'm really not good at archery, apparently. God, everyone has so much health, even on this difficulty. Those rocks really hurt. On realistic, one rock might take me out, which, you know, you kind of have to play with. I think my archery skill is just so low right now. Go ahead and have our guys charge. I'm going to start doing some axe here, and I missed. It's definitely harder to do some melee on horseback in this game than it was in Warband. I feel like the reach is a bit just harder to deal with than in Warband. So you just sort of have to adjust to it, and I just think I hit a friendly. But we did win. We didn't lose any of our guys. That's good. They definitely hacked the crap out of these looters. They're definitely celebrating. We really will need to work, me personally, on my archery skill. So we gain good renown, decent morale, because we're attacking a troop that is similar in strength to ours. The more we overpower them, the less we'll actually get from them. So for loot, we got a lot of things. We don't really have much going on for us. So if any of this is better for us, it would be very sad. This tunic, not quite better. We don't have any arm wrap, so we'll take that. We also don't have a cloak. No, this is cloak. We're going to keep butter, olives, blacksmith hammer, axe. We're going to sell most of these and those shoes. But just some loot to get us some initial funds. We're going to avoid the Sea Raiders because that's fucking scary. Sea Raiders I still have nightmares about Sea Raiders from previous games. There is a Sea Raider hideout right here. That's going to be interesting. Let's get a few more troops here. What we're going to do is we're going to go over to Ravel here. Hopefully we don't get ran into anywhere. We did not. So what we're going to do is we're going to trade. What we want to keep is the grain, olives, and butter. That's all of our food, consumables. I don't actually know if butter counts as food. I don't remember specifically, but we're going to keep that. So by locking those 3 here on the right, you can go ahead and hit sell all, and everything else will be sold. We don't want any of that anyway, so that's fine. Going to get some money, which is good. We're going to keep building some value. Let's buy 5 grain by holding shift and clicking on that. Gives us some more food. We'll definitely want that. See if we can't get a shield, possibly, and something other than this axe. It might be a bit too soon to really afford anything like that. They don't really have anything weapon-wise. I don't really want to go for a scythe. A shield, I want like a nice, decent round shield. Definitely something I can have on horseback. I think some larger shields might have more horseback ability. But it doesn't look like there's anything here. We just have standard arrows and a hunting bow. We'll probably worry about upgrading that later. Go ahead and grab a scarf. Gives us a bit more armor. Looks pretty snazzy too, but it's mostly the armor. We're going to pay some money, so we actually lost money in that. That's fine. I'm not too worried about it. And let's take off these 5 looters and really show them who's boss and sell their crap. We can never catch up with them. Ooh boy. Oh, nope. Okay. 5 and 6, that'd be 11. We could actually take 11 looters. I'm just worried if there's anything else around. Alright, come here. Okay. Up by this town here. Let's see what else. We can't get any other troops. They don't like us enough. Okay, let's keep chasing down these looters here. Hopefully we can catch up, sort of chase them to the ends of the earth. Quite a lot of looters here. I don't want to get all three of these groups at once. I'm not really confident enough in my troops to do that. So we're chasing some looters up and down the coast here. Okay, it looks like we got a 5 stack on its own. We're going to take them out. Keep building up that renown. Keep building up that clan size by getting money, getting renown. Those are the main things. You need to have like 2,000 dinars and 50 renown, I think, to get the first clan size, which will let us become a mercenary, which I think is our first step in world domination here. And by world domination, I mean we're going to become a vassal. Maybe we'll be able to some land. Let's see how that plays out. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Come here, go to a full stop, get some good shots in here. Ah, fuck. Go ahead and tell our troops here to charge. Going slower so we can aim a bit better. They're like right next to us and they can't catch us, so we can get some good shots on here. And this is just how it's going to work with what we have. We'll probably take out this last guy too. Yep. So not too bad. We didn't lose anyone once again. And celebrate our victory. Can't block with a bow. Yep, didn't lose anyone. They lost 5. As opposed to the previous battle, we barely gained any renown and we barely gained any morale. But that's because it was a group of 5. So you can sort of see how you just have to keep going at it until you actually get enough going to basically become a mercenary. That's when sort of things will start going a bit better for us. We'll be able to participate. We can help this guy out. That's good. I don't think relations with specific lords really matter as much compared to warband. Not that I've seen. But we're still going to keep good relations with. I think it does for like them voting on like you getting a fief. So we'll definitely want to make sure this guy likes us because we're going to be with him and this country here. So they're all dead and we've won. I hope this guy appreciates our help here. Little does he know we came, from the far, far north, and let's see what this guy has to say. See if there's any interesting interactions with a feminine character here. My name is Astrid, sir. May I ask your name? He is Lashonek of the Togar Roving. Ancestors or mothers who came from the far. Oh, me too. Take the dinar and spread out to defend these lands. Well, that's good. God dang it. I'm going to do this anyway just because I want to get the option out of there. Same with that one. That's main quest options. We're not actually going to be doing anything with that. I just want that option to go away. So as we can, we're going to ask people about that until it goes away. Something we'd like to discuss. We can't enter service yet. We have noticed he has not taken a wife. I don't know if we actually really want to wed to this guy. He kind of has a little chubby face there. We'll sort of see just how it plays out. Nothing else to ask. There's still some missing options here. Quick questions. There are no quick questions you can ask anyone. Hopefully some of that gets patched out as we're playing here, as more patches keep coming out. Like I said, they've been putting out a couple bug fix patches every weekday or so. They've put out 5 since the game came out. So hopefully they keep up pace. They didn't put out one Sunday, but that's just how that is. I mean, they need a break too, obviously. We're going to have to go back to sell these looters. I forgot about them. Woodsman. I hired this guy, and I don't... Woodsman is where we're going. Okay, so Woodsman recruits, but we don't want to get any warriors, because we want to go down the brigand tree. But you can't quite go anywhere yet. You need to go to Woodsman. Whole bunch of Woodsmen. Alright. I don't know why they are all set as troop type 2. We're going to be troop type 1. Maybe, are they technically ranged? Is that what? No, they're infantry. They just have some throwing spears. That's fine. You'll just stay in line. Not too worried about that. Let's make our way back over to Rayville here. I think this is just going to be a home base in this area for a while. Gonna sell off those looters, which will give us some cash and some roguery experience. A lot of stuff going on here. Ransom our prisoners. Something else we'll want to keep track of is different heroes that are around. You do have to spend quite a bit of money. I think the cheapest I ever saw in some of my previous playing was maybe 650 dinars of an initial fee to get them to join up with you. We can't afford that now, but we'll have to keep that in mind because we definitely want some heroes with us. They give us some more skills. They'll lead some other additional parties for us when our clan grows. So I think that will be good, but for now we can't afford that. There might be a tournament going on. There is a tournament going on. The tournaments in this, you go in with the armor you have on. We don't really have on armor. Some higher end troops will randomly join the tournament, like when I was doing it back in the Empire, some legionnaires or whatever. Legionaries. So they basically have full armor. I barely did any damage to them. We're going to avoid tournaments just for now. I'm not confident enough I could win them. They are fun, but again, can't really do much. Smithing, we don't really have any smithing, sadly. Maybe we can get some of this up to make our own sword. That might be nice later on. We can focus more on that then. But I think for now, this is where we're going to leave it. Our start is solid. We sort of have, a small band of, jolly compatriots here of 17 other troops or 16 other troops and us. And we're just going to keep going in this frozen north, which is melted quite a bit because it's in the middle of summer. But as the snow comes back down, maybe we'll make our way up here anyway. We won't be as effective as the snow as some of the other places. We'll just keep killing some looters, killing some bandits, and get a mercenary contract up here in Sturgia. I think that will help us and help us establish ourselves. Because that's truly what we want to do. We want to establish ourselves. Astrid is very hungry to prove that she can lead a small gang of highly trained cavalry into the front lines to just wipe the enemy. Sadly, that means that, going up and assaulting fortresses is going to be a pain, but we'll sort of play that as we come to it. I thank you all for joining me, and I will see you in the next one.